So this is one of the books that I'm going to refer. Okay, not all. This is not every book, but this is one of the books. I am also going to. Where did I? Where was I? I just. Yeah, this is my Chessbase account. So this online Chessbase account is also. You may want to think it has got a lot of content and access is there, including chess openings videos, tactics, end games, middle games, everything. So I think I had shown this about some time back, but maybe I will do it in, if anybody is interested, they can take it. It's a yearly subscription and everything is web based. Okay, so I have this. So yeah, let us go ahead and
Sir, would you give a link or something for this?
I will give the link. I will give the link. No problem at all. I will give the link. It is en.chessbase.com. Okay, so that is what is the link. So I will give it to you. Okay, so fine. So let us start. So it has got this book. I have got it in e-form. So it is like, see, it is starting with a lot of traps, Mortimer's trap, various other traps, etc. It is about 120 different games it is contains, and across starting with sections like. Yeah, first section is E4 openings, open games, then semi-open games here, which includes things like Sicilian, French, Caro-Can, etc. Yeah.
Bobby Fischer was one good player, right?
Of course, he was the world champion, right?
Yeah, is there any game about him?
Lot of games are there. Why one? Thousand games are there. Not thousand, probably 500, 700 games are there or more.
Okay.
So in fact, Chess King has got one course completely on Bobby Fischer. So maybe that if you want to see. Okay, all right, coming here, queen pawn opening also, there are a number of traps and number of these ones, and I will cover some of them. Okay, and then flank opening. Flank opening means English opening or what do you call Reti opening, all of those will come under. But what I'm going to start with it is some classic attacks. Okay, so I'm going to look at, today I'm going to look at the a wonderful attack known as the Greek gift sacrifice. Okay, Greek gift sacrifice. It is a bishop to h7. Okay, sacrifice of bishop on h7 when white is playing it, and when black is playing it, it can happen bishop takes h2 against a castled position. So it's a very standard attack. So I think everyone should know this and when it can work. It is not that every time it will work. But there are certain positions when it works. So you should know the intricacies of what is required for it to work, etc. Okay. So that is what we are going to look at. So let us start. Let us jump into it. Okay. So this first, why it is, so the Greek gift sacrifice is the phrase. I mean, why it is called as a Greek gift? Because it is like, what do you say? I mean, it is, there are some historical reasons, maybe some other
Trojan
time.
horse, right?
Huh?
The Trojan horse, right?
Yeah, but here the what is sacrifice is not the horse, but horse comes into picture. The knight does come into picture. So let us see this. Okay, so let us see this. E4, E6, French defense. See, it happens a lot. I will tell you in a class of openings, separate class of openings, where white is able to play E4 to E5. Okay, so first thing is that, okay, E4, E6, D4, D5, standard French defense. And now knight B to D2. This is the Tarrasch French. Okay, knight C3 also you can play. Yeah.
Sir, and both of them are from the same place, but lane G is an what does IM mean?
IM means international master. Okay, so it is just one level below grandmaster.
Oh, okay.
Okay, all right. So knight to D2 is a very popular way to play French from white side. And why not? I mean, knight C3 is also there, and then you have variations like French Winawer with bishop to B4. Okay, but this kind of anyway, what happens is in the black's idea is to play C5, and for that white wants to protect his D4 pawn by C3. He has to play, so he has to move the knight in most of the French games anyway. So that is why Tarrasch introduced this thing saying that I don't want to go my knight on C3 anyway, because I want to play my pawn to C3, and then probably this pawn E4 will go to E5. and that is the thing. So I will not give you any opportunity for a check or a thing. This bishop to b4 will be useless when the knight is on d2, right?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah,
Sir,
yeah.
before putting the knight to c3 or d2, can we put the pawn to e5?
Yes, you can. That is a called as advanced French. Okay, so French advanced it is called. So you can always play the move first here. Okay, but and that is also a very popular variation of French. Nothing wrong with it. It is just that when you play e5, then c5 comes immediately, and then probably c3 comes. So it is very much possible. Okay, but what this is another variation where you ask the question to black, because if black takes it, then white is very happy actually to capture back. So black normally does not take the pawn immediately. Black plays knight f6.
So, yeah, what I wanted to ask you, why did you name this move Newcastle?
Newcastle. Oh, Newcastle is the place where this game took place. Okay, it is a name like you see here, Tashkent, London, Paris, right? So where it happened, it is the name of the city. Okay,
Oh, okay.
okay. So this is a city in England. Okay, so fine. A knight f6, typical move from black side, and then white plays e5. Okay, white plays e5, and the knight goes to d7. Okay, so this is one of the primary requirements we will see for the Greek gift sacrifice. Okay, so this is standard French plan c5. So white protects his e5 pawn further with f4. Black plays knight c6, again standard plan. White plays this knight to f3. So this is the new plan that Gary Lane is having. So we'll see it. And anyway, we are not discussing opening that great detail. Okay. So bishop to b4 and king to f2. So this is a very specific opening preparation. Okay, but it is worth just knowing that these things are also possible. Okay. So normally you will not do this. You will not move the king. But here, why
Sir?
white is ready to move the king? Just hold on. Is that white is saying that there is no way for you to attack my king on the king side, because I have got these pawns very solid, and I'm going to use this to attack you. Okay, it is debatable whether that is the best way or not, but it is, with preparation it can be done. So this is what it is. Yeah, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you that I forgot. Yeah, anyway, till now in the opening, not even one piece has been taken.
Yes, that is correct, and that may happen, right? And we are just into the 10th move, right?
Okay, yeah.
So black castle, white plays g3. So white has got this specific. White is saying that this itself is like my castle, okay, and I don't think you can break it. It's what white is saying. So let us see that. So black plays b6 now, because he has to develop his queenside bishop, and white takes advantage of this tactical possibility by going queen to a4. Queen to a4 is a smart move. What is white threatening? White is threatening to take this knight, and if black plays bishop to, black can play actually.
So this move, I mean, like it's like you may think you cannot save your knight, but then you can also do queen to c7.
Yeah, queen to c7. Queen to c7. You can do bishop to b7. But here there are a lot of possibilities. But here black plays knight d to b8, and he supports the knight this way. Okay, it's okay. This is okay. It's not that it is wrong. So white plays bishop to d3. Okay, now we are in a setup which is just one more move, and then I will tell you when we are ready for the okay. So let queen come back. Okay, now look at this position very carefully. Now black has to be very careful here, because the Greek gift sacrifice is in the air. What are the requirements? The requirement is that this bishop should be there either on d3 or c2. It should be pointing towards h2. Key thing is that the knight on f6 should have been displaced, and which is what happens with e4 coming to e5. The knight is not there. Knight is a very good defender. I have told multiple times that the knight on f6 or f3 is a very good defender of the castle, but that is driven away, and this knight should be ready. White knight should be ready to jump to g5 and allowing the queen to either come to h5 in this direction, or also come to d3 and then be able to join this attack. All of these are necessary. Plus, there is one more thing is necessary. So first of all, now black plays this rook to e8. So far, so good. Okay. Now, white waits one more move. Why? We will have to see this. Okay, we'll have to see this. Why white waits one more move, and now bishop goes back to f8. So now white strikes. Everything is ready from white side. So what is the?
So I think I can find it.
What is that?
So I already found it, I think so.
Bishop h7.
Right. And then king takes.
So let us see this. Okay, this is the start of the Greek gift sacrifice. Okay, and you have to do it with a lot of calculation. Okay, it is not that it cannot be done lightly, because otherwise you might end up one piece down and without a thing. So what you have to see is that what are the possibilities. If simply king does not take it, okay, then you also have to evaluate what is possible. But in this case, it is very, very much possible. Firstly, if the king does not take it, your bishop can come back all the way, and then you simply have got one pawn extra, and that itself is good enough, right? Because one pawn extra of castle, okay, it is like a serious weakness for the other side. So many times that also is a thing. But here you also have the knight coming further up to g5. Okay, and now preparing for queen to come to h5, and it will be a very strong attack after this, right? So
Sir,
yeah.
Also an attack.
isn't there a fork with the king and the queen?
Yeah,
So
but not immediately, right? So here black is to play. So black plays queen e7 now. Black does not allow the fork. Okay, black does not allow the fork. But what does it allow? It allows white to play queen to h5, right? And it is a very strong attack. So okay, so here g6, because white was threatening to just retreat the bishop and give a checkmate, right? So g6, but then this itself is a discovered check, and now it is mate. Next move, it is going to become mate, right? Or maybe bishop can sacrifice itself for one move, but it is going to become a mate, because what you can do: bishop h6, queen takes h6, king to g8, queen to h7 check, king to f8, and finally queen to h8 will be checkmate, right? So that is why it does not help too much for the king to not take the thing. So as well, king might as well take the knight. And now is the main move of the Greek
So
game.
knight check.
Yeah,
Knight
e5
check on g.
And there are typically 3 moves that you have to evaluate. Okay, one is if the king goes to g8, what happens? We are going to see that in the game. What happened? That is what
Then you have to push the queen, sir.
we also
E3
have to,
queen.
yeah, we also have to see things like king to h6 or g6. Okay, if king to h6, what happens? He can
Fork, sir, fork.
yeah. Okay, yeah. Here-
Knight takes f7.
Correct. Here it is. But you have to just calculate it, okay? And there is also sometimes king to h8 is also there. But king to h8 typically is not possible, because queen will come with a check. King will have to go back.
No,
And
if it go to h8, there is again a fork.
yeah, but even there is a checkmate. Better than a fork. Right? There is a checkmate. King h8, then queen h5 check, king g8, and queen h7 is checkmate.
So if black wants to avoid the mate, then he has to take a queen. Then that only is
Yeah. Yeah, but here, so king g6 is the critical move. Okay, in most of the variations, in most of the situations when a Greek sacrifice happens, that time king to h8 is generally a bad move, but you have to calculate it. King to h6 is also, most of the time it does not work, defend. King to g8, sometimes you have to calculate, okay, it may or may not this one. but king to g6 is becomes the critical move. Okay, and you have to be able to calculate after this. Okay,
The QD3.
yeah, there are two ways that you can attack in this case: qd3 or qg4. Okay, qg4 means you are creating a discovered attack threat and you are forcing the thing. But queen d3 also sometimes you are not able to do queen g4, in which case queen
Sir?
d3 you have to check.
So, like, if you would get your queen to g4, then you can give up. That you can get your knight to e5. Sorry, e6, which would be forking the queen.
Yeah, but just hold on, it is not. So we'll see that. Okay, so king to g6, two moves you have to calculate: queen to d3 or queen to g4. Here queen to g4 is better. Okay, and what is the threat? Okay, now actually I can tell you what is why white waited. White, okay, I was telling you, right? Why did white wait for bishop to f8? Okay, before doing the sacrifice? Why did he not do it when after rook e8? Now itself, why he did not do it? Okay, there is a reason. There is a reason, as you
I know, sir.
why?
Sir, because if the bishop would come to f8, then there was a chance with knight and queen combination checkmate.
No, not that. The main reason was bishop being on f8, it does not allow the rook to come to h8 again. Okay, after king has gone to g6, otherwise one defensive move, okay, is the rook comes back to h8 and prevents the queen from coming on the h file. We'll see this here. Okay, queen to g4. Now the only way for black to defend is to play f5. Almost always this move is the only move option that is there. Okay, but now white plays queen to h4 and now white wins. And why white wins is that what is the white is threatening? Queen to h7.
h7, sir.
Okay, but if the bishop was not on f8, then what would have happened? This rook would have come to h8 with the support of the queen, and then you cannot win this, right?
So keeping the bishop inside is bad.
Sir,
Sir, the queen is capped.
sir, anyway, I wanted to ask you that can you go to the move before bishop e3?
Bishop e3. Before bishop e3 is rook e8. Yeah.
Yeah, in this, once the bishop comes to bishop e3, what relationship does it have to do with the bishop on b4?
No, it does not have. Bishop e3 does not help, but it is waiting for black bishop to go back. If black bishop goes back, then he has got an extra. The Greek sacrifice works beautifully.
But then why
What
would
is the use of?
yeah? But then why would the bishop need to go back? I mean, it's not
Because
being
it was
counted.
feeling. See that it was not doing anything here. And what black thought is that bishop to f8, it is defending my g7. So he just thought that it is still a good move. Okay. So,
He's a newbie.
he's not a newbie. He's also a very expert player, because you will have to see how it is. But yeah, you have to learn from these ones. Okay.
Sir,
Yeah.
couldn't Black just play?
I have a question.
Wait. One by one. Okay, Madhura, you were saying something?
Yeah, couldn't Black just play g6 instead of taking the bishop behind?
He could. But wait. Here you mean bishop to e3 here? Here g6, you could play it. But it creates a bigger hole on f6. Can you see it? The f6 is now completely in the hands of white, and it's as well as h6. So it is not a very simple thing. Okay, so you can, now we can, in hindsight, we can criticize f8, but it is not like g6 is also bad move only. It is a weakening the king side very much, right? So ideally, what thing you should do is that if the knight is moved from f6 to say d7, it should come back to f8, so that from f8 also it can defend the h7 as well as the g6 squares. That is a better strategy. Okay, if the knight is, but it is not always possible. So we have to see. Okay, it's okay. I think let us look at this again. So queen g4, f5, and now queen h4 wins here. Okay, so this is something. These are all the possibilities that you have to check. Okay, now because of this, in this position, black king goes to g8. Okay, but queen h5 comes. Now now the attack is actually running completely easily. Okay, so what does black do? Black tries to take out the bishop, make some room for white. Okay, because the king is getting suffocated there and is going to get, but it doesn't help because it is now a straight series of moves which results in complete checkmate. Queen to f7 first. Okay, yeah, just see this, okay. And okay, immediately queen to h7 will not, it is easy to win, but it does not checkmate. What happens is king goes to f8, queen h8 check, king goes to e7, queen takes g7, then rook defends the f pawn, and now it will take some more time for you to win. You will still win, white should still win with this much attack coming in, but it will take. So instead, white says queen to f7 first check, king to h8, queen to h5, king to g, everything is forced now. Queen to h7, king to f8, queen to h8, king to, now what? It is very simple. King to e7.
King to f7.
And
Oh.
no, e7, f7 because the knight is thing. And then now queen to
G7.
queen g7 is checkmate.
Checkmate.
Right? So this is the ideal objective. Okay, sometimes you are able to achieve it, sometimes you are not able to achieve it, but you achieve some other material advantage and the king's shelter is gone, and that way you can still win in the end. It sometimes the calculations go wrong and then you might lose. Okay, because if that's why you have to calculate it very, very precisely. Okay, so
Beginners, Greek gift will be very, 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 very complicated.
what is that? Sorry, Greek
For
gift.
beginners, Greek gift will be very, very complicated.
Yeah, I mean, if you see it, many examples, then you know. And which are the openings in which it can occur? French defense, many times it can occur because this pawn, black's pawn is on e6 and white many times plays e5, drives away the knight. So it creates the condition. Sometimes it can happen in Caro-Kann defense also, in a specific variations of the Caro-Kann. And yeah, but in general, you can see when the tension is there and white pushes the e5 pawn. That is one of the characteristics. Similarly, black can also do it. We'll see some examples of that. Black can also do the same attack, especially in openings like Cole system, London system, etc., where white does not play e4. White plays d4 and e3. Sometimes black can play e5 and then push e4 also, drive away your knight, and that creates the condition from the black. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you that how do you get to know when the game is when the game becomes an opening, when the game ends an opening and starts an middle game, and when it starts an end game? How do you get to know that?
For endgame, I think most of your pieces will be gone.
Yeah.
Then you have to start developing the pieces that are left.
Correct. So endgame, generally the rule is that, not rule, but you can just make out if less than 3 pieces are left on each side, right? Then you can say that it is in the endgame. Ideally 2 pieces or less.
So this is an end game, or
No, this is middle game. This is right in the middle game. See, and moves also you will know that first 8 or 10 moves, 12 moves might be opening, right? And then it will be middle game till you exchange off a lot of pieces. Now this is right in the middle game. Right?
So you can give a checkmate in middle game also?
Yeah, if the opponent allows it, if the opponent does not play strongly, then you can give a checkmate anytime. It can happen in opening also.
Yeah, because there's some fool's mate also, no?
Yeah, fool's mate happens in the opening. Scholar's mate happen in the opening, right, itself. Right, so it is possible. It depends. Even that knight to d6 check, remember that happens in Caro-Kann defense again, or sometimes in this one. So knight to d6, queen is on e2 and knight jumps to d6 and smothers the black king to make. So that also is possible in the opening, but that's okay. So I think now you have seen the main this one. What you call? You have seen the main. What we are going to do now is we are going to look at a couple of more games. To examples of the Greek gift, and then we are going to conclude. Okay, so we are going to do that, but let me now.
So
Yeah.
in the position where black played bishop back to f8,
Yeah,
if the bishop were say played to e7 instead,
bishop to e7, huh?
yeah,
Bishop to e7.
and then if white decides to just go through with the sacrifice anyway,
Yeah.
king g6 isn't necessary, right? We can go back to g8.
Actually, you know what? If bishop to e7 is there now, this sacrifice will not work, I think, because knight comes to g5. You can take, bishop can take on g5.
Yeah.
And even if you take f takes g5, queen takes g5, so there is no attack possible from white side. Or no, queen may not take it because bishop is there on e5. But still, the whole point of the thing is that it is still possible. A queen can come to h5. We have to be careful and calculate. Then the plan will be queen to h5 check, king goes to g8. And then white will push the g5 pawn to g6, creating a, that thing where the pawn lands on g6. Then it can also force a checkmate sometimes. That kind of a plan will come into picture. But you have to calculate.
Sir, in this variation, I don't think black is forced into taking the bishop or moving to h8, right? Couldn't he just move to f8 and then?
Okay, so let us see if the bishop is on e7. Black bishop went.
No, not bishop on e7. Like, if, for example, the bishop stays where it is.
Okay.
On b4.
Okay.
Black could just move, and let's say white just goes through with bishop takes h7.
Wait, right now it is black to play, and black you will have to play king to f8 or something. But king to f8 is you are giving up your thing, because white bishop will take the pawn.
No, not now. Let's say black plays any waiting move,
okay,
and then white then decides to take h7.
Okay.
Black wouldn't necessarily be forced into taking the bishop or moving to h8, right? Like, it could go to f8.
It could go to f8. Yeah, it could go to f8. But what happens is, in that case, the bishop simply retreats and you are one pawn up free, right? You are one pawn up free.
Sir, I wanted to ask you that.
Wait. Now we are going to close the thing and we are going to join back again. So you can ask your questions after that. I'm going